Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be using one of those most unusual of bonsai tools, the adjustable spanner, and you'll see why in a bit. This is my fluted hornbeam, so called because it has a kind of an interesting fluted arrangement to the root base here. Let's see if I can show you a close-up of that. And so the root base is almost sprays out like fingers going into the soil, but what it also had, as I zoom back out, was a really dead straight trunk, boring, uninteresting, and so I wanted to do something about that, but it was, and the trunk is, well, let me show you, I'll put the drinks can for scale. The trunk is probably an inch and a half in diameter, and there was no way you could use any of the conventional bonsai bending tools on the market, so I came up with this, which is my, well, just a bending contraption. It's made up of a couple of U-bolts, some bits of wood, some bicycle inner tubes, and some wire to hold it to this chunky plastic pot. The tree's been bent successively at different heights, and I'm hoping that when I undo all these bolts today, the tree will more or less stay where it is. We will see. Before I start removing this, I'm going to cut back some of this foliage. The top's been quite neglected on this tree, and it's been chopped back a couple of times, but no real work or shaping has been done to it. So that'll be done over the next few years. I just want to prune it back and give me a bit of room to work, and encourage some more budding closer into the trunk. Piece here going entirely the wrong direction, just going to cut that right back off. Being quite harsh with the tree. It's June the 17th, so it's still got the rest of the summer to recover from this operation. Okay, same as I work up, I'm just going to be cutting it back. I'm not really doing much of anything in terms of looking for shape or branching structure. It's literally like trimming a hedge almost, running it over with the trimmers. Probably in the winter time, when we can look at the branch structure, we may look at this tree again and seeing what branches need wiring and which branches need removing, which can be kept. Time to remove this contraption. I'm going to leave it wired to the pot in case there's any movement. I don't want to damage the tree, particularly removing this. So basically it's just a question of loosening off these nuts anything other than a dead straight trunk is a bonus at this point. Okay, so remove the first of the U-bolts. As you can see, a good thick padding of rubber inner tube, which has left a black mark on the trunk, but experience has told me that that will come off. With a little bit of scrubbing over time. Yeah, I think that'll come off. By the end of the year you won't even know that that was there. Most importantly is the bark hasn't been damaged. So let's see if we can persuade this one to come loose. Last time it needed a gentle tap or two. There we go. So the tree has arched back up a little, but not a huge amount. So I just cut that piece of wire. And this piece of wire, and that allows us to remove the trunk. There is a bit of damage, unfortunately, a bit of a hole there, but again, it's nothing I can't live with. Not too much damage up here. I have a large scar where a branch was removed before. That's going to need a bit of refinement work. But I have a not straight trunk, which is the overall aim of. Here's a quick view of the contraption in all its glory. I'm sure any engineering types out there can find possibly a better way of doing it. But I made it with just some chunks of wood that I had lying around, and I bought the U-bolts at a hardware store somewhere. In a tube I had hanging round. So yeah, nothing complicated, but a way of putting a bend into a big tree. So despite the damage, which, you know, could be a lot worse, the outcome that I wanted has been arrived at. We have a bend in the trunk. We still have an unfortunately rather large straight piece full of end of a large straight piece. It's not been entirely the success I would have liked. I think when I repot this tree, I'm going to repot it at more of an angle, which will give this straight piece less emphasis. I need to work on this scar, which will help reduce some of the slight bulge here caused by this indentation. For the rest of this year though, this tree is just going to be well fed, well watered, and given every opportunity to grow and recover from its torture device. And we'll see how it looks come the winter. Okay, so we'll give you a quick 360 of this tree. Still not certain that the answer to this tree isn't a full-on trunk chop at some point, but I'm not giving up on it yet. I definitely think if I replant it more at that angle, it definitely has a bit more something, and yeah, its future isn't in any way certain, and just one of those trees that I kind of keep plugging away at, and I've had it for a long time, and sometimes I think about, should I just forget it and you know, go with something else? And then I think, no, I'm not entirely done with this tree yet, and so soldier on with it. Just spotted a full-on bar arrangement here, so that needs to be dealt with. That's better. Yeah, that's much better. Still gonna need to trim some of this back, and maybe I'll put a bit of wire on that branch there. Okay, so I'm going to chop that piece, and then yeah, just put a little piece of wire on there just to pull that out and round. That'll do nicely. As I say, I'm going to have to make some decisions about this apex, but perhaps we'll do that more when the tree is bare, come the autumn. So that's it for this one for today. So thank you so much for watching. Please do take care of yourselves and stay safe.